Good evening. Sri Lanka is a small island nation in the Indian Ocean. However, within the global community, Sri Lanka plays a vital role, a key role when necessary. Today we are going to discuss about one such event, such an important event that affect our lives and affect our future. That's the climate change and disaster prevention. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation as the national television is to host 9th ABU summit on disaster climate action and disaster prevention. ABU is the largest broadcasting union, Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union. It's the largest broadcasting union in the world. So today we are going to discuss about this summit, which is going to take place on 25th, 26th and 27th November in Colombo, Sri Lanka, with the participation of over 70 international journalists and over 200 Sri Lankan journalists and stakeholders in climate action and disaster preparedness prevention fields. Therefore, today we have a very distinguished panel of two persons with us to discuss about this important summit. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Ahmed Nadeem. He is the Secretary General of the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, and prior to that he was a veteran broadcasting engineer with an experience of over 25 years. Then secondly, we all know him during the war period. He was leading the National Hospital of Colombo, providing humanitarian support for the people affected by the war. Then during the COVID period, he was spearheading the anti-COVID campaign in Sri Lanka. Then after that, he became the leader of the environmental sector in Sri Lanka. Now he is heading another important sector. He is the secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Anija Singh. So I would like to welcome both of you on behalf of the national television, and within this short period we are going to brief you about the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union and its endeavor to hold this summit and build kind of a platform of awareness on climate action and disaster prevention. First, I would like to turn towards our Secretary General. Sir, can you explain what's ABU in a nutshell?
Yeah, thank you for the invitation, and it's nice to be here. The Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union is one of the 8 unions around the world which work regionally in the development of broadcasting within the specific regions. For us, we cover the Asia and the Pacific region. We were formed in 1964 by leading broadcasters in the world. At the moment, the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union has a membership of 226 spanning across 65 countries. And we of course cover the biggest region, so we are the biggest broadcasting union. Through our members, we reach over 4 billion population. And SLRC is one of our members in this region, just like a lot of the national broadcasters in all of those countries who are our members. Yeah.
Yes. Then now, as you explained, ABU directly deal with broadcasting. Then why ABU has taken this initiative to work on climate action and disaster prevention? What's the reason? What's the background of this story?
Yeah, the background of the story actually starts from that life-changing event which we all experienced in 2004, the tsunami. And I think that that was an event that changed a lot of things, and that brought an understanding across the communities and the leadership of many countries that media has a key role to play in making communities prepared for such events. And one of the things that in many of the countries, what we realized was that when the tsunami hit, the biggest reason for that level of disaster was because the people were not prepared for it. Like in other communities, like for example Japan, or for example Indonesia, where disasters are very common, they make an effort through their education and information systems to make people aware of it, to educate people for those unforeseen disasters, so that God forbid when those come, the people are more prepared for it. So that was one of the reasons why ABU got involved in it. Especially during that time, we took a leading role to make and to communicate with advanced broadcasters around the region to help the affected population, how we can go ahead and make the life more appropriate and help with the situation that they are in. We started the process very much focused on technology, because we learned that bigger broadcasters, advanced broadcasters like NHK in Japan, they have a very sophisticated technology mechanism where they work with the entities like meteorology and disaster management to inform the public on an automated system. So our work started with the ABU more focused on technology, whereas along the years we came to understand that it's not only about technology, it is more about coordination. The important thing here is we found it to be twofold. One is the importance of coordination among the entities that are involved, and number two, that media has to be part of it. Yeah, so that's where we started. Maybe we'll go into details
Of
later.
course.
Yeah.
Great endeavor. Dr. Jasing, now as I explained earlier, although you are from the medical field, you have a great knowledge on environment, climate change and disaster, all these areas. So what's your total assessment that the risk that Sri Lanka face because of the climate change? The first part of my question. Then the second part, how does this affect directly involved with the health of our people? So you have to cover both areas.
Okay. Thank you for inviting. Climate change basically is the change in climate due to human interference, anthropogenic, because there is climate change due to natural, so this is in excess of natural climate change. And the thing is, the manifestations are basically the sea level rise, global warming, right? And then the disasters, food insecurity, all those things come up with this climate change. And when it comes to globally, the this is mainly due to greenhouse gas emissions, which started off during industrial revolution. And if you take the history of climate change, it is the industrialized countries which contributed to climate change. Now, if you take GHG emissions attributed by Sri Lanka, it's actually negligible. It's 0.02 per capita. So that sort of the thing is, if you take G20 countries put together, the GHG emissions amounts to over 70%, just 20 countries. But the irony is that though the climate change basically was caused by industrialized nations and continue to carry on with the affecting climate change. The vulnerabilities mostly come to countries like Sri Lanka. Countries, one thing, small countries, and then also countries with less ability to cope up with eventualities. Now specifically about Sri Lanka, due to climate change, we already witness sea level rise, and it is expected that by 2090, some parts of coastal areas will marginally go down sea level, and especially the Jaffna Peninsula area. And then just imagine with this, it's not just sea level rise, but then salination. Then it affects agriculture, right? And then the disasters, the floods. Now the floods are so common now in Sri Lanka, and with this climate change, you will see in time to come there'll be more and more rains due to southwestern monsoons, and less rains due to northwestern monsoon. So that means dry areas will get drier and wet areas will get wetter. So it's a whole lot of changes which are taking, and then what will happen to agriculture? What will happen to our crops, right? And then what about the livelihoods of people? And then you will see the climate migration. It's not necessarily external, but internal. When people cannot live, and when they don't have livelihoods, they tend to migrate. So therefore, then the nutrition, the food will be scarce, and then the water resources will get dry. So therefore, when it comes to countries like Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is not a very small island nation like Maldives, for example, but medium size. But the country, especially when it comes to islands, the effects of climate change would be felt more than that of other continental countries.
Then what about the health?
Yes, when it comes to health, with global warming, you will see more and more certain infectious diseases like dengue, especially vector-borne diseases, for example, and and then when it comes to food scarcity, that will hit health of people, and then water scarcity once again, because it's about the main requirements for life of Earth are air, water, right? So air would also get spoiled, and then you will have breathing issues, and then you will end up in lung diseases, upper respiratory and other respiratory diseases. Even now, by now, we see time and again our ambient air get polluted very badly, especially towards latter part of the year, and in fact the air is very highly polluted at times. So that's once again a main reason is GHG emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. So therefore, it's actually it's about every aspect of life will get affected, so as much as the health.
Mr. Nadeem, in the recent, very recent past, ABU is more trending towards blue-green concepts and promoting such things play a vital role in global platforms. So, can you elaborate more on this?
No, I think what Secretary also highlighted is that area, because it's not related to one specific. For example, sea level rise is not about coastal regions. Temperature rise is not about crops. It's a chain reaction, and the only way we can come to a level of balancing it out is through sustainability. So that's why there is through the UN and many other countries have actually abided by these rules, that there needs to be some work done at the government level, at community level, at personal level, to maintain a level of sustainability in everything we do. As Secretary highlighted, I think the industrialization revolution created an area where we did not look into the outcomes of the actions that we were doing. So we went on and cut down the forest, we went on and dig up wells, and we went on doing all of these things without actually thinking about how much degradation in terms of the natural resources, in terms of the livelihoods of people depend on these actions. So our idea is that it's not only about being prepared for disasters, but also it's more about understanding why the disasters are caused and how we can try and balance out our actions through an effort of sustainable actions that we can come up with, both at community level, personal level, and of course at the government level also. So we are encouraging this, and this also comes down to the media, because one of the roles of public service media is about propagating this information and education. So unless we educate the public on what is going on and why these things are happening, and why, for example, sustainable efforts are very important, we will not be able to collectively address this situation. And this is the reasons why we have made some efforts through different UN agencies to bring that knowledge down to the people at the community level.
Yes. Dr. Jasingh, now Secretary General explained the global certain global actions. So, according to your view, what are the policies that Sri Lanka is adopting to face the impact of climate change?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, the solutions for climate change revolves around three. That's mitigation, that's bringing down greenhouse gases, and adaptation, that's adapting to the situation, to minimize the effect of climate change. So when it comes to Sri Lanka, it's actually, as I told you, it's a low carbon emitting country, and our forte is basically adaptation. But adaptation is a bit of a complex subject, and one thing, since we are in the tropics, right, and since we have a lot of sun and we have wind and all that, so mitigation is one area that we can harness a lot of potential. So that is to reduce the gap. And then in adaptation, certainly we say, if you take agriculture for example, you try to you go for more resilient crops, and also go for more variety of crops, for example, and then smart agriculture. And since our land mass is not so big, the smart agriculture will produce more, productivity is more than conventional agriculture, for example. If you go by the policies and programs of Sri Lanka, now in 2000 23 actually, for example, we amended the climate change policy to suit the current
needs.
nature, and then also we developed net zero 50 roadmap and strategic plan. That is, Sri Lanka aims at hitting net zero by 2050. So actually we have devised, we have analyzed all the sectors and how Sri Lanka could come to that level by 2050. And then Central Bank of Sri Lanka, they introduced once again in 2023 green taxonomy, that is identifying areas in economic sectors where the greening of economy can take place, so that investors would choose out of these taxonomy areas, for example. And then we have in fact Sri Lanka has submitted its nationally determined contributions to UNFCCC, that is the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, which is the body, global body on climate change. And there we have pledged one thing is by 2030 the 70% of electricity to come from renewable sources. And then by 2030, 14.5% of GHG emissions, by to reduce GHG emissions by 14.5%. And then also we have pledged that we would not add coal power, no additional coal power will come in to Sri Lanka. So then, and also the 2050 target of net zero. So I mean those are the areas, and also the banks, the financial sector, they have introduced bonds, green bonds, you see, environmental bonds, green bonds, that is for that is to attract investors, local as well as foreign investors, for greening of the economy, greening of the country. So basically on one hand we try to reduce our greenhouse gas footprint. On the other hand, we try to increase our sequestration ability of carbon dioxide. So therefore, and another target is to increase our forest cover to 32% by 2030. So with sequestration and then the mitigation, actually the environment would get more cleaner.
Yes, Mr. Secretary General, now Sri Lanka is one of the smallest members among the ABU when we compare certain big ABU members, but yet Sri Lanka is now hosting this summit. What can you say about that?
No, I think what happened with the work when we started in after the post tsunami of 2004 was more about creating ways to improve communication and education of preparedness to the communities. This activity went on until a few years after that, and in 2014 we actually launched the Climate Summit. And the idea was that to bring together all the entities, stakeholders in one place and discuss about the coordination efforts and what different groups are doing. So when we started it, the first Climate Summit was in Indonesia, in Jakarta actually. And why we selected Indonesia was that because Indonesia was one of the most affected countries during the 2004 tsunami. And since then we have actually gone round selecting countries who are part of this affected countries. So we went to Thailand, we went to Bangladesh also, Nepal also, we went to Maldives also. So in the past many years, Sri Lanka was the only country among those really affected through this mechanism where we haven't hosted the climate summit. So when the discussions came, we actually proposed to SLRC, and SLRC decided, okay, it's good to host it. So we are very happy that we are going to host the 9th summit here in Sri Lanka with the help of Rupavahini.
Yes.
So we are very excited. Rupavahini is one of our full members. Actually, Rupavahini has been with ABU for more than 40 years as a member. So we are very much happy with the collaboration we have, and we are looking forward to one of the best climate summits.
Now, Sri Lankan journalists are also taking part in the summit. So what's your message to Sri Lankans?
No, I think the message has been always very clear from our end that we need a collective effort. And the message that will come out from the, just like in the past, is that a lot of effort is needed collectively through the different stakeholders to actually put an effort to try and make communities more prepared, as well as take necessary sustainable steps so that we can mitigate the effects of climate change. So that will be the message. And this year, one of the highlights is going to be one of the projects that we have done in the past 2 years with UNESCO, which is coming up with the DPRP, the disaster preparedness model, which is something that we worked with UNESCO and came up with a model for the broadcasters to implement how they themselves can be resilient in face of disaster. Because what we have seen in some of the countries, even some of the advanced countries, is that when a disaster happens, and if the broadcast station itself is caught among the affected areas, then we lose the effectiveness of this communication medium, which is one of the most efficient communication mediums in the world. I know the mobile operators and mobile reach is much wider, but what we have seen over the years many times is that when something like a disaster happens, because of the way communication systems, other communication systems are based, they get overwhelmed and we lose communication. But broadcasting by itself is one mechanism where the spectrum is most efficiently used. So this is the reason why we are very much adamant in advocating on the need for terrestrial broadcasting to be one of the pillars within the mechanisms that we have. And I think over the years with our discussions, UNDRR and the newly initiated Emergency for All mechanism, where we have now media as one of the pillars, and we are very much happy about it. And we are also extremely happy that this summit here in Sri Lanka is going to be where the DPRP model is going to be launched. So that's also a good achievement for us.
Dr. Jasinghe, finally, what's your message for Sri Lankan journalists? Because it's a good opportunity for Sri Lankan journalists to network and build new connections with their global counterparts. What's your message for Sri Lankan journalists?
So I'm happy that ABU decided to host a conference, and I'm happy the Secretary General is with us now. So basically, in terms of climate action, it's about climate advocacy. So that's a vast subject. Well, you have to push sometimes governments, countries for climate action. So I think media is the best lobby agent, lobbying agent for this kind of work. So media always can lobby respective governments for media the climate action, and then also educating public, the climate literacy, because among people climate literacy may be low. So therefore, the perception of this problem is low among them. So more the public is aware about the climate change and effects of climate change, the more easier for us to wage this war. So therefore, it's very important that this ABU forum has taken this theme for this conference. So I believe that the journalists, the media professionals in Sri Lanka, as well as those who are coming from overseas, they can engage closely among themselves and have a good dialogue so that also can exchange the experience of their respective countries with regard to how they look at and how they experience and how they have been in action in the climate advocacy. So therefore, actually that's how I look at it, and I'm happy that our own Rupavahini Corporation is involved in this exercise in Sri Lanka this year.
Thank you very much. With that important comment, we are going to wind up this discussion. So I would like to thank our Secretary General to the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, Mr. Ahmad Nadeem, and Mr. Anil Jasingha, Dr. Anil Jasingha, the Secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, for taking part in this important event, important discussion amid your all busy schedules. And our Secretary General is all the way from Malaysia, and he was so generous to visit SLRC and take part this important discussion. So we hope to meet you in another similar discussion about this summit and its important aspects up to now. So thank you very much and good night.